For the first time in 3 years, it's the Dodgers and the White Sox playing 4 times this season, twice here in Chicago this week, and a couple of more times at Dodger Stadium in August. Joe Davis, Nomar Garciaparra, Lana Rizzo on a picture-perfect night for baseball with a temperature in the low 70s. And the Dodgers try to keep on rolling with a 9-game winning streak, trying to match his season high by winning 10 in a row. Here's the lineup brought to you by Honda. Chris Taylor has been hot lately. He leads it off. Seager, Turner, Bellinger. You know about the production from those 3 All-Stars since they moved into that grouping in the order in early June. Logan Forsythe bats 5th. Jock Peterson in center hitting 6th. Yasmani Grandal does the catching. Yasiel Puig is in right. And DHing in this American League ballpark is Chase Utley. They face off with Miguel Gonzalez, who makes his first start in more than a month. He went on the disabled list with shoulder inflammation, and before that was not very good. His last 9 starts before going on the DL, Nomar, he was 1-8 with an ERA near 7.
Yeah, when he's going to feature is a fastball. He's got a slider. He's actually got away with the slider, got rid of that. Over the spring training, he actually developed a cutter, was going more cutter instead of a slider. He'll come out with a curveball and a splitter as well as his changeup. And when you look at that lineup, Dodger lineup, only 2 guys in this lineup that have faced him, and that's just Logan Forsythe and Chris Taylor. So everybody else, it's going to be a new look for them. So let's see how they attack him early on.
Dodgers 29-4 over their last 33 games. If they win tonight, they'll be the first team to go 30-4 since the 1977 Kansas City Royals. The White Sox, meanwhile, have dropped 4 in a row. They've dropped 6 of 7. And at 38-52, have the worst record in the American League. Off we go with a pop-up that will reach the seats, and strike 1 on Taylor. You mentioned he's one of the 2 guys that has faced Miguel Gonzalez. 4 for 7 against him.
Yeah, we were talking earlier to Turner Ward, asking him a little bit about Miguel Gonzalez, and he said, he goes, Logan Forsythe and Chris Taylor kind of helped run the hitters meeting because they had faced him before.
Gonzalez back home with an 0-1, and that's outside ball 1.
And they also said that the one thing about Gonzalez is he's not overpowering. When you look at his fastball, it averages around 90 miles an hour. But that the key for him is to have his command. If he has command, he can be effective. But there are times when he loses it, gets behind a lot of hitters, and then you can look for your pitch.
Baltimore chopped to third, and the shortstop Anderson winds up taking it, throws late at first. Chris Taylor is aboard with an infield single to start the 9th.
Sometimes new team, new look. That's what I'm saying. As far as an infielder, you also may not know the speed of the opposing players. So Anderson going after this high chopper maybe was just worried about more fielding it cleanly. Sorry, I'll get it out. Yeah. Fielding it cleanly rather than recognizing that you really have to bust it and get it hard and get it over there quick because Chris Taylor can get down the line so fast.
I mean, isn't that Davidson's ball, though, at third?
If he can get to it. If he can't get to it, it's always the third baseman. I always say, you get everything you can. If not, I'll get what gets by you.
Taylor takes off as Seager takes a strike, and no chance to get him. Just like that, the Dodgers have a runner in scoring position.
And like we said, Logan Forsythe, Chris Taylor have faced Gonzalez before. They have the scouting reports. They understand. And Chris Taylor did not hesitate. Obviously, he knows something about his move, his leg kick, his timing to home, and got in there easily.
So a good chance for the Dodgers here. They made some noise on the bases early in games in Miami, but one of the issues for them was cashing in on those opportunities. Still were able to sweep the Marlins. They're 11th this season to lead the majors by a wide margin. Here comes an 0-1. Big cut and a miss, 0-2. Seager 3 for 12 over the weekend in Miami. He's got into Chicago Sunday night, off day yesterday. Playing tonight and tomorrow, then back home to open the homestand. Protected, still 0-2.
We talked about it in the Marlins series where they had guys at second base with nobody out. Talking about not only just getting the job done, even if you're making out, just getting those productive outs.
That's a ball.
And we also talked about that. That's one of the things that even Dave Roberts has addressed and said he'd like to see them do a better job at moving guys over, doing the little things, having that productive out. Hasn't shown up much. We talked about it too, because one of all the victories they've had, but two, they usually back it up with a home run.
Right. Yeah, the dirt 2-2, and it's nitpicking, right? I mean, it's a team with a 64-29 record, 2 games better than anybody in baseball. And the concern isn't necessarily right now. It's looking ahead to a postseason game where you're facing off with an ace, where 1 run is likely going to make the difference. 1 run might be all you get. So when you have an opportunity to get it, got to make those productive outs. A 2-2 to Corey Seager is inside, and he's worked it full.
So far, good job by Corey Seager to work the count full. But when you mentioned about that postseason, because it's not something that all of a sudden you can just flip a switch and say, okay, now we're able to handle the bat and move the guys over. So you have to do that over the course of the season to have confidence you can do it then.
The payoff. And Seager, after falling behind 0-2, has earned the walk. So first and second with nobody out. The Dodgers trying to give a root greeting back into the big leagues for Gonzalez after the long DL stint. Now he faces the leading hitter in baseball, Justin Turner, and his .374 average. And we've been talking, Omar, about how he's trying to become eligible for the leaderboard to technically be the leading hitter. If he gets 5 plate appearances tonight, he will qualify. First and second, nobody out. Gonzalez first one to Turner. Taking first round. Turner homered on Sunday, knocked in 2 of the 3 Dodger runs. The best in baseball in these situations. Back 0-2.
We say batting third is the position in the lineup or a time where you really have to think. And here's a perfect example, because you have first and second, nobody out. You have to think to yourself, okay, I know I can handle the bat. Am I thinking right side to move the runner over? I got to know how Cody Bellinger is swinging the bat, even the 5th batter, in case if you do your job, move them over, get out at first base, open base, pitching around. This is where the thought comes in. And then early in the game say, well, maybe not. Let me just get my pitch and try to drive them in and maybe create that big inning.
Just misses, ball 1.
And then you also have to know yourself. It's different with a man on second by himself rather than first and second, as we have a look at where this on the Audi pitch cast. How it shows that it might have caught the tip of the strike zone.
Two on, nobody out. Good chance for the Dodgers here in the first inning to jump on Gonzalez, who fires 0-2, and Turner shoots it foul.
What I was saying, though, as a hitter, it's a little bit different with man on second and the base open at first. In this situation, nobody out, compared to first and second. You also got to think, okay, am I one of those guys, if I think right side, I usually go on the ground or hit it on the ground rather than. So to stay out of that double play rather than just look for my pitch that I normally do and try to drive it in the gap.
Taylor at second, Seager at first, and another 1-2 pitch. Turner strikes out swinging. A tailing fastball in there for the first out.
That pitch really had some nice tailing action, good movement, because it started off as a ball. And then it was late catching the outside corner. Looked like Turner had a little bit of a late swing because he saw that break toward the end. He was hoping to just get a piece of it.
That brings up Cody Bellinger in a scoreless first inning. First time Gonzalez has faced Bellinger. And he drops in strike one. Well, Friday and Sunday both pretty nondescript for Cody in Miami, but on Saturday the cycle in his 72nd career game. Breaking ball hit off his foot and he crumbles down to the ground. Back to his feet in an 0-2 hole.
It's right in the middle of his shin, it looked like. Oh.
Top of his foot.
Yeah, looked like it was just above the ankle. Not fun.
No.
No. And then we always know pitchers try to go back in there and either go away because you're thinking, all right, he's going to try to get in there, or they come back in there.
Pray on it.
Yes.
See what Gonzalez does with an 0-2. Looks like they're going away. First and second, one out. And Gonzalez to Bellinger with an 0-2 pitch. On the ground, base hit into center. Chris Taylor will score on a base hit from Cody Bellinger, and the Dodgers waste no time. It's 1-0.
Well, they decided to come in. They wanted it up and in, and it started off there, but it tailed. We saw the tailing action of his fastball against Justin Turner. That one he didn't want to tail as much, and it tailed over the middle of the plate. Cody Bellinger did a good job getting the barrel to that ball and driving it back up the middle.
And so they're at the corners now. Good base running by Seager to go first to third, and Logan Forsythe. About as impressive of a 2 for 11 as you're ever going to see. The Forsythe in Miami this weekend. Got robbed once up the center field fence and hit. Out of those 9 outs, so there were a few strikeouts. So out of the 6 balls in play, 5 of them were probably barreled up.
Yeah, I would say that about 5 of them were hit really hard. It's one of those we talked about at the end of that series. Stay right there. What you battle with yourself as a hitter, you think about how you felt and how you squared it up compared to the actual result.
First one from Gonzalez. It's a tailing action to catch the corner. Forsythe, the guy who's got good practice this year and sticking with it, sticking with the process. But off to the slow start, battling the broken toe and then the hamstring injury while he was trying to come back from it. But over the last month, he's been back to the guy that was so impressive in Tampa Bay the last 2 years. So foul, and it's 0-2.
And I think I give a lot of credit to Dave Roberts as well, just regards to comes over to a new team. He has early struggles. He gets hurt. Dave Roberts, I mean, even talking to the media, and I guarantee what he's saying to the media is also telling Logan that he's still impressed with the quality at bats. Not looking at the average, get rid of that, but look at the quality at bats. And that's why he continues going to him, and that gives him confidence.
The dirt for a ball. Bellinger holds on at first. Hard to do when you're looking at your own numbers, right? I mean, you're looking up at the scoreboard, and for Logan, it was below 200 for the first couple months of the year. Hard to just stick with it at that point.
It really is, because you're also find yourself pressing. You want to impress your new team, the new fans.
The 1-2. Inside to even it up.
It's a good take. Not easy to lay off that pitch, especially when you have 2 strikes and starts off as a strike in the inside corner. Just recognizing that ball with tail. You're praying that it tails, that it's of what you've seen so far in this game. Tail right out of the strike zone.
Infield single for Chris Taylor, walk for Corey Seager, RBI single for Cody Bellinger, and now Logan Forsythe has worked the full count. Gonzalez has already thrown 23 pitches. Corey Seager was able to earn a walk after falling behind 0-2. Now Forsythe, falling in an 0-2 home himself, it's battled back.
Let's see if Dave Roberts is thinking about if Cody Bellinger can get a good jump, if he lets him steal here. Trusting Logan will put the ball in play as well. These are the ones where they may say you don't have to go, but if you get a good jump, go ahead.
Got a pretty good lead. He takes off. Forsythe takes ball 4. The bases are loaded. Second walk in the inning the Dodgers have drawn after falling behind Gonzalez 0-2.
Well, we touched about it on the scouting report. It was when he gets behind, he throws a lot of fastballs. He has trouble at times. Wait for your pitch. Don't give in to him. And so far this inning, that's what these Dodger hitters have done.
So Jock Peterson comes to the plate with the bases loaded and 1 out here in the first inning. And of course had a grand slam to open the season in San Diego on opening day. Broke things open against Jolie Chacin. And for a while that was his only home run. But he has gotten it going lately. 9 total home runs for him now. Gonzalez really searching to find rhythm here in his first inning in more than a month. First pitch to Peterson, hit hard at first. Abreu has it at second to get 1, and back to first to double play to limit the damage. Dodgers settle for 1 here in the first, and Clayton Kershaw takes the ball when you come back. Clayton Kershaw, the first Dodger to win 14 games before the All-Star break, since Sandy Koufax did it a few times in the 1960s. And here he makes his first start in 9 days, his first one of the second half.
Well, you look at the bottom there, 13 straight starts without a loss. Today, Clayton Kershaw has a chance to break his own Los Angeles Dodger record tonight. So since 1958, the Dodgers have won 13 straight games that Clayton Kershaw has started. So he did that back in 2014. So if he gets one, he can break that record and make it 14 straight.
And he'd be one short of the franchise record at that point, going back to the Brooklyn days. As he Vance back in the 1920s, the next guy on the list for him. Tim Anderson climbs in. Kershaw opens his night with a fastball low. This is the first time he's started in this ballpark. He's faced the White Sox a few times in his career, but each time in Los Angeles. Is 1-0. A crack bat, soft line drive, base hit into center. And Anderson with the leadoff single. Anderson, the leadoff man in this White Sox starting lineup, which is brought to you by Honda, and has Melky Cabrera coming up next in it. Then Jose Abreu batting third. There was a change in the middle of the order, and I don't know if you've heard yet. I still haven't heard any news, but Todd Frazier was pulled out after the lineup had been released. So you immediately start thinking, well, he's probably been traded. He's rumored to be headed somewhere. It is that time of year, but no news yet. First 1-2 Cabrera is inside for ball one. A lot of people think he could head to Boston, could head to New York. We'll see.
They did announce that he was pulled out, but it wasn't for it was a healthy scratch, they said. So that means he is okay. So it wasn't health reasons.
It's fouled and it's 1-1. And he's in the dugout right now. Huh. ...2004 trade deadline day. Hug watch for you. Were you in a game when the deal went down to Chicago?
Nah, it was before the game started.
One and two. Did you have any indication it was coming?
No.
Tough.
Call you in. Hey. What? Okay. All right, let me go pack.
A business. The White Sox have been just below league average as far as runs per game on the season, but they're one of the best teams in baseball against left-handed pitching. It's a team hitting above 280 against southpaws. Anderson at first with nobody out. Kershaw to Cabrera with a 1-2 pitch. Breaking ball gets him swinging. First curve that we've seen him throw finishes off Cabrera for the first out.
This is something that even Clayton Kershaw has been interviewed and admitted that he kind of tweaked his attack to hitters early in the game. Recognize, I mean, this year, the amount of home runs that have been going on throughout Major League Baseball, but even for him personally, the amount that he's given up, says that he's going to his breaking ball earlier than usual.
Jose Abreu, runner takes off, pitches a strike, throw down, not in time. Anderson with a stolen base. And not just earlier, but throughout outings more often, we thought the guys were sitting on his fastball, and 18 home runs allowed, already a career high.
It's a strike there with the fastball. And it was a good pitch to throw on for Yasmani. Just got a good jump by Anderson. See Logan, he just stayed on there too, because Logan recognizing that he was sliding off. But yeah, that was the book on Clayton Kershaw as they're having a look to see. That was the book. You know he's going to try to get ahead of you and get ahead of you with a fastball, and especially as a right-handed hitter. He was going to get ahead of you with a fastball on the inner half, so he can come in fastball and then also break off that back foot slider on you to get a swing and miss.
That was against New York. Gave up 4 home runs back in late June, and since making the adjustment, going to the fastball less frequently, he's given up just 1 home run over the last 4 starts. "29 innings in those 4 starts, only 2 runs." Here's his 0-1. Going inside to Abreu, 1 ball and 1 strike. Some concern there that Anderson was relaying signs.
I think they just wanted to get on the same page. I don't think they felt necessarily he was giving signs, but
2.
it may have been just a slight discussion about it, but I don't think they were really. There's one of those you're like, hey, did it look something? It looked a little odd. Let's just switch him up just to make sure.
Get out ahead of it.
Yeah. Let's not assume.
Anderson at second with 1 out. Kershaw to Abreu with a 1-2. Curve is popped up. In right field, Yasiel Puig for out number 2. Anderson knows better than to test Puig, and 2 gone.
I'm sure fans, especially here at the ballpark, seeing how far that ball was hit in right field, are going, okay, do they really know the scouting report? Are they going to test Yasiel? It's a team that hasn't played them this year, and let's see if they're going to test them. And sure enough, no, he was holding up.
And then White Sox fans who don't have the pleasure of seeing Yasiel play right field consistently heard some extra oohs and ahs from them on his first throw. It's one of the cool things about interleague play, is getting to see some guys that you don't routinely. And for Dodger fans, this may be one of those guys they're excited to see. Avisail Garcia has had a breakout season, the lone all-star for Chicago. Kershaw starts him with a fastball high. It's 1-0. He was once a highly touted prospect, key piece of a trade. Started his career with the Tigers and then was shipped over here a few years back, and just finally this year has taken off. 1-1. Nice slider from Kershaw.
A perfect example of what we were talking about. Kershaw attacked him with the fastball, but not over the middle of the plate. You know he likes to throw strikes, so he's also willing to throw the ball a little bit out off the plate for his fastball too, to see if he can get him the chase. Did that with the first pitch, and then came with that slider.
So he comes with 1-1. Curve is up, and it's 2-1. It's a nice matchup here. Kershaw, of course, the game's best. And Garcia, the game's best against left-handed pitching. In the American League, hitting above 400 against southpaws. Three and 1.
This game features 5 of the top hitters as far as batting average is concerned versus left-handed pitching this year. You look at it, the top is Justin Turner. Number 3 is Garcia, who's up. 7 is Logan Forsythe. 8, Jose Abreu. And 10 is Chris Taylor.
Here's Juan Garcia, and the White Sox are at first and second with 2 out.
Earlier this year, Clayton Kershaw, you were talking about this is his first time pitching in this ballpark. It was also his first time in Cleveland as well. And he talked about how what he did before. He actually would get here early, got to the ballpark there in Cleveland early, and just kind of stand on the mound and just get the feel of what that new ballpark is. I'm sure he did that here as well.
Well before anybody's here. Visualize and just make sure there's no quirks that'll catch him off guard once he does get out there for the game. Inside with ball one to Matt Davidson. Clayton doesn't like to be surprised, so he does everything that he can to eliminate potential surprises. Up the middle, they have him positioned perfectly, and Logan Forsythe puts an end to this first inning. Off and rolling in Chicago, and the Dodgers with a 1-0 lead after one. Chicago this week. It has been perfect. Couple of days the Dodgers have been in town. Good start to this one. 1-0 against Miguel Gonzalez and the White Sox. 33 years old, born in Mexico, but grew up in Los Angeles. Family moved to LA when he was 4. Went to San Fernando High School and was a Dodger fan growing up. He'll face the bottom third of the order. Grandal, Puig, and Utley. Yasmani looks at ball one. Had a home run on Sunday. On this 1-0. Takes inside. 2 balls, no strikes. Slow, 3-0. 6th major league season for Gonzalez. Didn't make his debut until he was 28. First 4 years in Baltimore. Now his 2nd season with Chicago. 3-1.
It's going 3-0. So I know Yasmani probably has the green light. We know Dave Roberts is giving the green light to everybody get a pitch, and he actually was looking to swing at that one. It just wasn't a good pitch for him to attack. It was on the inner half. For a second, it looked like a ball. Might have just caught the corner, but it was a good job not swinging at that. But he was ready.
See if he gets one to drive on. 3-1 from Gonzalez. He does to the opposite field. It sends Cabrera back at the wall to make the catch. Yasmani Grandal gave it a ride, but Cabrera brought it in for the first out of the 2nd.
He does get a fastball. We talked about the tailing action of Gonzalez's fastball. That one tailed away from Yasmani, and he just mishit it. Just didn't quite barrel that up or get the barrel behind it to get the carry to the opposite field.
Base is empty with one gone, and here's Puig. He goes after the first one. That's strike one. What a memorable start to the second half for Yasiel Puig on Friday night. Home run early in the game to give the Dodgers the lead, and then with the Dodgers down to their final strike and down a run, he hit a game-winning 3-run homer. 0-2. Ball one. Back in that 8th spot. I mean, he's hit well enough to warrant moving up. But if it ain't broke. On a 1-2. Puig pops it up. Under Saladino, the second baseman, settles under it. 2 up and 2 down.
Even Yasiel has recognized that. He was joking about it, but I think it was also as an understanding. He was talking. He was asked about that. Like, listen, especially after the game, he hit 2 home runs. About possibly moving up in the lineup, because I was thinking about going as Dave Roberts, but I'm doing so well here. It's not gonna happen, so I'm not even gonna ask. So I'm like, yeah, it's true. And Dave Roberts was asked the same thing, and that's exactly what he said. He says, I think I'm gonna leave him there.
A little bit different hitting 8th in an American League ballpark. Yeah. Chase Utley is no pitcher. Different kind of protection behind him. He leans over the plate on strike one. First start of the road trip for him. He was the only Dodger that didn't get a start in Miami. With the extra bat in the order. He's the DH tonight. Boy, Gonzalez has great tail on that pitch.
See as it froze Chase Utley, because out of his hand it looked like it was going to hit Chase. Look where that ball was. Woo.
Looking for a 1-2-3 second. Utley yanks a liner to right. Garcia's there. And the Dodgers down in order against Gonzalez on only 12 pitches after he needed 25 to work his way through the first.
Welcome back, Dodger fans. MLB.com At Bat is your #1 mobile app for live Dodger baseball. Stay connected with a fully customizable experience. Get Dodger home screen icons and app features, as well as game day, live game video highlights, radio broadcasts, StatCast, news, and more. Download MLB.com At Bat today.
It's not taken from your transportation from downtown to the All-Star game here a decade and a half ago or so, is it?
No, that one wasn't. But that looked pretty cool.
Saladino to lead off this inning, and he takes ball 1 from Kershaw. So you're telling me on the way over here, you guys had pretty special access to get down here. Huh?
Yeah, just kind of we ended up going on the side of the waterways, you know, kind of like the excess water that in the city, like kind of like the LA River back home. And to get from the hotel to the stadium here for the All-Star game, they were taking the buses. That's the way we would avoid the traffic and not have to worry about it. It was really cool.
Did you kind of sweep up and down, you know, like a skateboard?
No, we didn't. No, they didn't do that on the bus. No. It was definitely requested, but they turned it down.
Okay. Yeah. No Fast and Furious in the All-Star game.
They were worried about some of the players on the bus.
2-1. That's Saladino. Kershaw trying to lock in a hit and a walk in that first inning. Showed frustration with himself with that impossibly high standard that he holds himself to. That's a strike, and it's 2-2. Coming off a complete game effort against Kansas City on the final day of the first half. 13 strikeouts, no walks in that game. Up the middle, right by his ear for a base hit into center. Second inning in a row, the White Sox have put the leadoff man on.
Saladino taking this fastball, doing exactly what you're supposed to do. Take it right back up the middle. Clayton Kershaw missing his spot. He wanted to go away with that fastball. And it creeps right back over the middle of the plate.
So now Yolmer Sanchez, who is inserted into the lineup as the DH with Todd Frazier as the late scratch. Healthy scratch in the dugout. Still no word if he's been traded. Strike 1. Open season for these White Sox as far as trading goes. They have overhauled the farm system with some moves, starting with Chris Sale during the offseason. Most recently, Jose Quintana to the Cubs. Gone from having a not very good farm system to the best in baseball. Curve sinks in for strike 2. Quintana trade brought them back Eloy Jimenez, who's the top 8 or number 8 prospect in baseball. Brought him back one of the Cubs' top pitching prospects in Dylan Cease. Ken Rosenthal of Fox Sports reporting that the Yankees are close to making a deal with the White Sox. It's outside ball 1, and this would be a big deal. Todd Frazier, David Robertson, their closer, and Tommy Kahnle, who's been one of the best setup men in the American League this year. All 3 of those guys reported to be headed to the Yankees for prospects. That is going to bring a huge return for Chicago. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. Got him with a slider for his second K.
So and then the Yankees get Robertson back.
Yep.
Then we were talking about Kahnle. Tommy Kahnle. Fans don't know what he looks like coming out of the bullpen. His fastball averages 98 miles an hour. So that means he's actually, you know, he's topping over 100 when he comes out of there. But he has always had issue with the command, but this year he's had the command going with that 98 average.
1 on 1 out, Kevin Smith. And that would send Todd Frazier to the team that he grew up rooting for. As a New Jersey boy, grew up a diehard Yankees fan. In fact, wears number 21 because that's what Paul O'Neill wore while he was growing up rooting for him. It's inside, ball one. Todd Frazier no longer in the dugout for whatever that's worth. Frazier, Robertson, Canely, rumored to be headed to the Yankees. One and one. It's a fun time of the baseball season. All these moves cropping up. It'll be a lot more fun now that you're sitting up here than when you were down there.
Oh yeah, I don't mind. I'm just hanging out watching it.
Here's the 1-1. It's low, 2-1, and Kershaw very animated in his disgust for the miss.
He's had a few of those so far in this game. Obviously, with Kershaw, when we see that a few times, isn't as sharp as he would like. You're always looking over the course of the game if he ends up finding it.
He usually does. And Smith helps him out here, 2-2. Dodgers haven't lost a Kershaw start since May 1st against San Francisco. Struck out Sanchez with a slider. Runner takes off and it's fouled off. Catcher's interference called on Yasmani Grandal, and so 2 on with 1 out. The bat hit the glove and Smith gets first.
Smith knew right away. Umpire recognized it right away. Yasmani saw the runner going and kind of got his glove out there, just trying to be a little too quick, catch that ball so you can get a quick exchange and have a shot at the base stealer.
So the White Sox with an opportunity here in the second. The 9-hitter Adam Engel. Strike one. 2 months ago, Engel was in AAA, still hadn't yet made his major league debut. Came up May 27th, quickly went back down for a couple of weeks, but has been up since mid-June. Here he is facing Clayton Kershaw in a 1-0 game with runners at first and second. 1 ball and 1 strike. Two and one. We got an opportunity because of an injury. Larry Garcia is their starting center fielder. He's done a good job at the opportunity he's been given. Two and two. Play by a fan in Dodger blue, and there's plenty of it here tonight. Pretty good crowd on hand. And when there's a pretty good crowd on hand for a team that's 38 and 52, you know, a lot of it is here to see the other side. The 2-2. Caught the corner with a backdoor slider for strike 3. Third Kershaw punch out. 2 away here in the second.
No, Kershaw missed his spot because you see Yasmani wanting this breaking ball in the inner half, and he has to reach over, but he did reach over the plate, and it did catch the plate and caught the bottom part of the zone, and he gets the call. Good job by the home plate umpire, just not giving up and assuming, oh, he missed his spot and calling it a ball, but recognizing it across the plate. Strike.
Tim Anderson aggressive behind 0-1. Yeah, a lot of times you see pitches finish as strikes like that, but with the reach, you're not going to get them.
And usually, as a hitter, you're upset because when you turn around, you see it and you saw that the catcher reached. You're like, wait a minute, he reached for, how is that a strike?
Anderson singled his first time, has him at first and second with 2 out here. And on this 0-1, it's a big bouncer back to Kershaw. Anderson has good speed, but Kershaw has it cleanly. And the White Sox strand 2 in the second. On to the third. The Dodgers 1, the White Sox nothing.
Just 13 days away from the trade deadline, the non-waiver trade deadline on July 31st, and there has been some movement today in the National League West. The Arizona Diamondbacks acquiring J.D. Martinez from the Detroit Tigers in exchange for 3 different prospects. Arizona trying to shore up the issue of not being able to hit left-handed pitching. This year, 57 games, a .305 average with 16 long balls, guys.
All right, Alana. Chris Taylor leads off this third inning for the Dodgers and takes strike 1 from Gonzalez. That is a big move for Arizona. J.D. Martinez, one of the best hitters in baseball the last few years. Second time for the Dodger order coming up, beginning with a base hit to the opposite field for Chris Taylor. So he's 2 for 2. The leadoff man aboard.
Well, his last at bat, he did a good job, 1, getting a base hit. He also stole a base first pitch. Let's see if he's thinking about stealing it here again.
And it was not close.
No.
That's about right.
All this remembers is make sure he's leaning back, not towards second.
First one to Corey Seager is hit foul. Seager walked his first time after falling behind Gonzalez 0-2. 3 hits, 2 walks for the Dodgers so far. Against the 33-year-old, originally from Guadalajara, Mexico. Went undrafted out of high school, San Fernando High School in Los Angeles, and decided to go to LA Mission College. Undrafted out of there, signed as a free agent with the Angels in 2004, then to Boston as a Rule 5 pick a few years later. Seager grounds it to first. This will be a tag play at second for a double play. Second one turned by the White Sox over the first few innings.
Good job by Abreu. Ball taking him over toward first base. Touching first base and making a throw. Good throw to second.
So I mentioned he went to Boston as a Rule 5 pick. You have to remain in the major league roster the whole year, or to offer him back to the team you got him from. Well, Boston got out of that because he missed the entire season with an injury. Here's Turner, and there's ball 1. He was out all of 2008 with a knee injury. Then missed all of 2009. He had Tommy John surgery. First part of 2010. Red Sox released him. Signed a free agent deal with Baltimore. And made his big league debut the same way Justin Turner did, and that is with the Orioles. It was in 2012 when he was 28 years old. Got that first big league opportunity. Well, good years there, and a good year last year in his first year in Chicago. 1-2. Count evens. Strikeout for him so far. It was against Turner in the first inning. Coming inside with a 2-2. Turner yanks it down the left field line. That is sinking for a base hit. Bounces its way to the corner. Turner has a 2-out double.
That's so impressive. The reason why that's impressive is he struck out the last time, and it actually struck out. Remember, it was a 2-seamer away that came back, and he looked like a late swing. But look where that pitch was. See it on PitchCast. It was inside. He brought his hands in so nicely to get the barrel to that ball. But that's impressive in and of itself. But the other thing is keeping it fair. A lot of times when a ball is going in that much, and especially with tail, and you're able to get the barrel to it, and you pull it, you often pull that foul. To keep that fair, staying inside it as well as he did was so impressive.
They'll put Bellinger on intentionally and put it on Logan Forsythe's plate with 2 out here in the third. Now the White Sox, being a team that don't often see the Dodgers, their broadcasters came in here and wanted to break down on the team, and they're saying, where did Justin Turner come from? 2014, last time these teams met up. He was just a random guy. Not a guy leading baseball in hitting. Now a notch above 375. Two on, 2 out. Logan Forsythe takes ball 1.
Usually as a hitter, when you're on deck and they intentionally walk the guy in front of you to get to you. This new rule, usually when they're, when they used to have to actually throw the 4 pitches, you it gave it time to brew inside you, and how upset. Now
right.
you don't have time for it to really brew. They just like, you're up. Let's go. What? So hopefully, even with him going to check with his pitcher, maybe hopefully it's brewing inside of Logan to see if he can come through here.
Got to manufacture the anger. And a hitter's count. Here comes a 2-0. On the edge, strike one. Forsythe walked his first time. Something he's done more this year than any year in his career. Walking about twice as frequently. Turner at second, Bellinger at first. The 2-1. 2-2. Full count. Dodgers 4 hits, 3 walks already, but only 1 run to show for it. Runners who get a head start here. There they go. Here it comes. Forsythe swats it foul, and we'll do it again. Pitch count already above 50 for Miguel Gonzalez. They haven't said if there's a number. The fact that he's a veteran guy means that it'll be performance based. He's had a couple rehab starts and was solid there. Started a big league game though since early June. Shut down with shoulder inflammation. Runners going, another payoff, and Forsythe takes off of the outside corner for ball 4. Just by an eyelash to load him up.
Once again, not an easy take, because we've already seen this game how Gonzalez has been able to go on the outer half of that tailing fastball, and for it to come back and catch the corner. That ball didn't tail as much as we've seen previous pitches.
Pitching coach Don Cooper's out for the 4th walk issued. And for the 2nd time in 3 innings, Jock Peterson finds himself up there with the bases loaded. Routed into a double play his first time. So the Dodgers 8 base runners really in 2 innings because they went down in order in the 2nd. So here we go with the bases loaded and 2 gone. Jock Peterson watches a tailing fastball for strike 1. Good take, 1-1. Dodgers trying to string it together with 2 outs. Turner doubled into the corner. They put Bellinger on intentionally. Forsythe followed that with a walk. Up to Jock Peterson with 2 gone here in the 3rd. Gonzalez deals 1-1, and Peterson's out in front 1-2. Got him swinging on a pitch in the dirt. The Dodgers all kinds of opportunities in the first few innings here, but only one run to show for it as they leave them loaded here in the third. Time for the Unlimited Baseball Break, brought to you by T-Mobile. Dodgers since June 7th, which is the beginning of this 29-4 run. We just kind of handpicked a few categories because just about anyone you pick, they're leading baseball in.
You see the home runs, the team ERA, the opponent batting average, but you can also go a step further. Some of the stuff that they're doing in the NL. You got runs per game. They lead in since that date.
Melky Cabrera swings at the first pitch. Kershaw throws. Logan Forsythe for the first out.
The other offensive categories they're also leading in the NL is on base percentage and also an OPS. Combine that with the way they're pitching and those numbers, you can understand the run they're on right now.
A 1-0 lead, trying to move to 30-4 over their last 34 games. Turn it off at the top, but the last team to do that was in 1977. Kansas City Royals did it. Jose Abreu, strike one. Should match a season high if they could win tonight. 10-game winning streak. They send the White Sox to their 5th consecutive defeat. On a strike on Abreu, who's in the 4th year of his contract here in Chicago. It's the biggest contract the White Sox have ever handed out. 6 years, $68 million out of Cuba. He has been worth every dollar so far. At least 290, at least 25 home runs, at least 100 RBIs in all 3 years. Curve makes it 2-1. They say one of the hardest workers they have. A 2-1. 2-2.
One thing about Jose Abreu, when you watch him, you talk about his numbers that he's had so far in the big leagues. He's big, he's strong, he has power numbers, but he can handle the bat too. It's not the same. I mean, he goes up there with a plan. He'll go the other way when he needs to. He can move guys over. So with that, in pitchers, when you're attacking him, you're not thinking, okay, he's very one-dimensional. He's a big guy, just going to swing for the fences each and every time. No, he'll make adjustments. He'll make adjustments over the course of the at-bat.
Stays alive here. Is that what sets some of the elite guys apart? The ability not just to adjust throughout a season, but within each AB?
Yeah, you have guys that are able to adjust from game to game. You have guys who can adjust from an at-bat to an at-bat. The great ones can adjust from pitch to pitch.
Big bouncer to third. Turner's got it. 2 up and 2 down. Can't be fun for Bellinger to have to step into the base path with Jose Abreu running up it. Cody's not a small guy himself, but Abreu's huge.
Yeah, it's not fun with anybody coming down the first, but yeah, when you see one that size coming at you, yeah, you're like, let me catch it and get out of the way quickly.
How about this night?
It's just a gorgeous night. Right now, we see this after that pop-up, that Melky Cabrera. That's one where the infielders are reminding each other to point it out because you got the twilight. But as far as weather's concerned, no wind. It's a perfect night for baseball.
2 gone, bases empty, and Avisail Garcia shoots a base hit to right. So the All-Star has been aboard both times he's been up. A walk and now a hit. And the inning kept alive.
So far in this start, Clayton Kershaw hasn't been as efficient as he was his last start. I mean, his last start against Kansas City, he throws that complete game, goes those 9 innings, the 13 strikeouts, and those just 2 runs given up. But he did in 99 pitches. So right now, they've done a good job too, making him work so far in these early innings.
Matt Davidson takes strike 1. Yeah, that for me was the most remarkable number about his last start. If you're going to have 13 strikeouts and go the distance, how in the world do you do it in only 99 pitches? Usually you see that efficient number with low strikeout totals, a guy that's getting a bunch of early contact. There's plenty of that too. Other than 2 off of the glove of Grandal, but Garcia didn't read it well.
You also have that when you have a team that is really aggressive in the Kansas City Royals. They don't strike out. I mean, even though they had 13 strikeouts, but over the course of they really don't. They're not a team that strikes out a whole lot. But they're also very aggressive early in the count. I think they're one of the team collectively that swing at the first pitch are one of the highest in baseball.
Yeah, fewest pitches per plate appearance in baseball. Kansas City Royals. Outside, ball 1. Royals have gone into a bit of a tailspin. Swept in that series to finish the first half, struggling to open the second half, and they're again talking about maybe being sellers. Who knows? It's going to be a crazy couple weeks leading up to the deadline. They've got him picked off. What do they call a balk on Kershaw?
I want to know where the balk was. I don't know where that balk was. That's the same move he's always done.
Dave Roberts out to make sure that Kershaw doesn't get himself into trouble.
And you're also not supposed to be arguing a balk as well.
Jeff Kellogg, the crew chief, made the call at first. Does have his fair share of balks over the years. That's his 19th and his 10th year in the majors.
I know what he was calling here. Oh, I know what he was calling.
Yeah.
He was saying where he was stepped. All right. So he had that lean, but where he stepped. He's saying he stepped too much toward home plate.
Such a gray area, though.
Well, I wish they'd just have a mark there. It's supposed to be like a 45-degree angle. And that usually that 45-degree angle is where that start of the line is. Actually, that when you see that, when you run down to first, you see that lane down the first base line, and where the mark starts for that lane, that's usually that 45-degree angle from the pitcher's mound. See, you see that line where it starts, where right down the first base line. See that second line there, where they see where you're supposed to be running in that area. That where that starts is actually like a 45-degree angle.
A 2-2. A pop-up, and he will pitch around this frustrating ball. Bellinger's got it. The inning is over. Kershaw with another word or two for Jeff Kellogg on his way out of here on a gorgeous night. Fit for a postcard in Chicago. At LA is brought to you by the all-new 2017 Chrysler Pacifica, the new benchmark of minivans, and by Jack in the Box. Come try the new sweeter spicy barbecue bacon cheeseburger and chicken sandwich. Limited time only. These are two franchises that on the surface don't appear to have much history, but they did face off in the 1959 World Series. This is before Game 2. Johnny Padres of the Dodgers, Bob Shaw of the White Sox. They were the starting pitchers in that second game, which the Dodgers won. Bottom third of the order, and Yasmani Grandal pops the first pitch into the seats for strike one. White Sox won the first game of the 1959 World Series 11-0. The Dodgers came back to win 4 of the next 5, won the series in 6. First World Series played on the West Coast. The first World Series played by the White Sox since the Black Sox scandal in 1919. It's 1-1. Heard Vin talk before about the 1959 Dodger team. The city was obviously head over heels for 1958, finally having a major league team there. But they were just excited that they had a team. It didn't really matter what the team did at that point. It's 1-2, and it's good that they didn't totally care about that, because the 1958 team wasn't very good. 1959, they win the World Series, and Finn said that's when the city really wrapped its arms around the Dodgers. 2-2. That was a team that in mid-June was right around 500. Wasn't that promising of a start in the second year in LA. Grandal pulls one. They have him positioned well with a shift, and he's the first out of the fourth. A couple big call-ups mid-season. Larry Sherry, who would go on to win the MVP of the World Series, went 2-0, saved 2 games, pitched 5 2/3 in relief in the clinching game. He came up mid-season. It was Maury Will's rookie year after he had learned to pinch or switch hit the year before while he was in Spokane. Big acquisition, Wally Moon, over from the Cardinals, and learned how to utilize that 250-foot left field line at the Coliseum. Strike one on Yasiel Puig. He's an all-star, finished top 5 in MVP voting, launching 19 homers. The term moonshot came from. 1-1. 1-2. The 1959 season also special because it was the first for Spanish radio announcer Jaime Jarrín. Hall of Fame legend. Who jams it foul. That'll reach the seats. We'll do it again.
The best.
Really is. The best dress, too.
You looked under the dictionary, the word class. You'd have a picture of Jaime there. He's just a classy, great human being.
59 years. It's by the hands of Puig, and it's 2-2. And I asked him, Jaime, I want you to tell me about the 1959 Dodgers. And he said, that was 60 years ago. I don't remember that. A 2-2. He somehow gets a piece to stay alive. But what he did say he remembers is how remarkable it was to be among 70-some thousand people at the Coliseum. Obviously a football stadium that they made into the home of the Dodgers. And that struck him and stuck with him. 6 decades later, still remembers what it was like to sit in the middle of that. The base is empty and 1 out. The Dodgers lead 1-0 here in the 4th, and Gonzalez to Puig. He swats it into center. That'll hang up and caught by Adam Engel for the 2nd out. Chase Utley, the 9-hitter. Jaime says that his style is very much like Vin, because the way they used to do it, Jaime wouldn't travel. Vin would obviously travel, and then Jaime would recreate the games based off of Vin's call. What better way to learn? It's up on the top of the zone, strike 1.
What didn't he just originally was just translating what Vin said?
Yep. So picked up his inflections and his tone and his way of describing things. Pitch fell off the table, and it's 0-2. It on an 0-2. And the Dodgers catch a break there with Utley in an 0-2 hole, and hits him in the hip and gets it back to the top of the order.
So you look at the Volkswagen replay. We're going, he has some good movement on his fastball, and it sinks in. That one as a hitter, especially where it hit Chase kind of in the hip, and you're like down 0-2. You're like, all right, I'll take that hit by pitch. That's not one. That wasn't intentional. You're like, thank you, did me a favor, take my base.
Brings up Chris Taylor, who singled both times. And it's not like Gonzalez is flaming him up there. It was 91. Easy for me to sit up here and say, oh, it was just 91. It's easy to take on your hip, but it's all relative.
Depends on where it hit you.
Even in that area, right? 1 inch one way, 1 inch the other can make all the difference.
Yeah, but even when you but there are places, even where you get hit, if it is 98 compared to 91, oh yeah, still
right.
It's a lot more.
The 0-1. Big ball in for a strike. Dodgers 4 hits, 4 walks. And now Chase Utley was hit. 9 base runners through 3+, but the 1 run, all they've gotten on a Cody Bellinger first inning single. That's funny. We watch guys take batting practice each afternoon, and I'm not sure I've seen Chris Taylor have a worse day of batting practice where he's looked more frustrated than he did today. We're in the 4th inning and he already has 2 hits.
That happens. There's no question about it. You have those bad days, you're like, uh-oh. Sometimes it makes you concentrate even more once the game starts.
Strike 3 call. That tailing 2-seam fastball that Gonzalez has had locked in today. Jaime Jarrín, Dodger royalty right there. All new Backstage Dodgers coming up on Thursday. You can follow the 6 Dodger All-Stars behind the scenes in Miami. Kenley Jansen helps with that. He took over the Backstage Dodger camera. You can see some of his footage. Presented by Hankook Tire, and it's after the post-game show on Thursday. That's when the Dodgers open a homestand with Atlanta. It'll be good to get back home, be at Dodger Stadium Thursday night. 6, 7, and 8 for the White Sox in this inning. It's Tyler Saladino bunting the first pitch foul. Strike 1. Well, it's not been a typical smooth ride so far for Clayton Kershaw. He's given up 3 hits and a walk. He has walked, but bottom line, no damage. Comes with an 0-1. Public enemy number 1 for strike number 2.
Like you mentioned, no damage so far, but this White Sox team has made him work and get that pitch count. See, that's his 53rd pitch there.
His 54th is an 0-2. Taken to the dirt for ball 1. I continue to be amazed, and we get to watch him every 5th day. I'm most amazed by how he buckles down when there is traffic, when things aren't totally smooth. Tonight, no different. White Sox 0 for 7 once they get somebody on. Saladino barely gets a piece of his slider to stay alive. They've spent much of the night with runners on against Kershaw. 2 out of every 3 pitches that he's thrown have come from the stretch. Yanked down the left field line, foul.
Perfect example right now, where you usually see Clayton Kershaw even 0-2, and he was frustrated with himself, but he's putting them away. He's not wasting any pitches, even 0-2.
2-2. Struck him out. Buried a slider right where he wanted it that time.
This is the one he's been looking for, especially against Saladino in this at bat. That one that just starts off in the strike zone. So hard to lay off, so hard to make contact. He's got that late break just going toward your back leg as a right-handed hitter.
Brings up Yolmer Sanchez. Fouls it back, strike one. You may consider yourself a baseball expert and maybe a big fantasy player, and you're looking here wondering, how in the world have I never heard of Yolmer Sanchez? Well, that's because he hasn't been Yolmer until just now. It was Carlos Sanchez prior to this season. Yolmer is his given name, but before he decided to go by it on his baseball card this year, said the only person that called him that was his wife when she got mad at him. Now everybody's calling him that. 2-1.
Everybody's mad at him.
Yeah, right? That's by Turner down the line. Taylor was shaded over, so Sanchez held to a single.
Nothing Justin Turner can do here. Made a great effort, but it was a really good job by Chris Taylor to get to this ball as quickly as he did. You mentioned he was shaded over, which definitely helped, but to get there, because out of the box, Sanchez was thinking about a double. He took a really big turn around first base. See a great effort by Turner.
So the White Sox have added at least one base runner in all 4 innings now. That's a hot shot that Seager gets. Digs out of his glove to start a double play. 6-4-3. It started with a great effort from Seager, and it finished with a nice stretch from Bellinger to finish the White Sox in the 4th. Baseball on Sportsnet LA is brought to you by your Southern California Toyota dealers. Get the Toyota truck of your dreams at Toyota's Summer Drive Sales Event. And by the Dark Tower in theaters August 4th. That is Gil Hodges. On this date in 1957, he tied the National League record by hitting his 12th career grand slam. It was later broken by Willie McCovey, who had 18. All-time record still belongs to Lou Gehrig. 23 grand slams for him. Bill Hodges 370 home runs in his career. Only Duke Snider more in a Dodger uniform. And this one, the Dodgers ahead of the White Sox 1-0. On to the 5th, and Corey Seager to start things off against Miguel Gonzalez. Back the first pitch foul, and it's 0-1.
You always say you see a great play on the field and they lead off the inning. That was a great play by Corey Seager. Start that double play.
It's 1-1, and you say that's a real thing. Defensive momentum taking it to the plate.
Well, absolutely, because you feel good about yourself. You picked up your pitcher. That's really picking up your ace, Kershaw.
Swatted into left center field. That is down a base hit and bounces its way to the wall. Corey Seager starts the 5th with a double. There's that momentum. You're right, it's real.
It does, because you're out. We always say it's all about confidence. Pitchers will say confidence in the pitch you're going to throw. Hitter, confidence in the batter's box. Well, now you make a great play as we're taking a look at our Carl's cam from Corey Seager. Makes a great play. Now you're feeling good about yourself. Now you're like, all right, listen, I just made a good play on the defensively. Let's see if I can help them out offensively. Feeling pretty good. Get my pitch. Drives it in the gap.
So the Dodgers again making noise against Gonzalez, but can they finish something off? Never doubled his last time up. Breaking ball drops over the inner third for a strike. Dodgers now have 5 hits, 4 walks, and a hit batsman. That's 10 base runners over 4+ innings.
And their frustration is they only have 1 run to show for it.
Right. Fouled off 0-2. In this instance, when you're a guy who's hitting 375, how do you balance trying to move the runner up with trying to be the best hitter in baseball at 375?
Well, sometimes you're going, okay, my mentality maybe is to stay to right center, which is always a good approach and good thought process. So go, okay, I'm not giving myself up. I'm swinging the bat well, but I'm just going to get a pitch and I'm going to get a base hit that way. I'm going to drive it that way.
It's 0-2. Here comes. Got him swinging. Second time Turner's been retired on that same tailing fastball tonight. 1 away. Gonzalez yet to retire. Cody Bellinger knocked home the lone Dodger run in the first inning and walked in the third. It was put on intentionally. Going to go talk to Gonzalez, who the White Sox have to be really thrilled with so far. Able to limit the damage to just 1. He would have taken that over his final couple of months before going on the DL. His last 9 starts before the disabled list, he lost 8 games. His ERA was near 7. To Cody Bellinger. One off the table for strike 1. The one silver lining for Miguel Gonzalez in the disabled list stint was that he got to spend a little bit more time with his wife, Lucia, who is 8 months pregnant. Their second child on the way in a few weeks. He said he was happy to get back. He couldn't wait to get off of the DL. Felt so isolated, like you're not part of the team when you're on the DL. Even if you're around the team, not contributing, it hurt him. Two and one. It's really, I mean, obviously, goes without saying, it's the obvious.
it's not a good feeling, but you do feel like that. You just feel like you're not a part of it. And there are times where guys, when you know you're going to be in extended time on the DL, they send them away, spring training, maybe a spring training facility. And sometimes that's a good thing, because now they can just, without feeling that every day, seeing their team play and be around it and feeling like I'm not a part of it and I'm just kind of being in the way, compared to like I can just really focus on getting healthy. I can't wait to get back to help them.
He's got to be careful here. National League leader in home runs standing up there. Here comes a 3-1 from Gonzalez to Bellinger after he takes a look at Seager. He's actually now behind Giancarlo Stanton. Beg your pardon. Hit a couple yesterday. 3-1. He walked him. Bellinger's been on all 3 times, and again the Dodgers with multiple runners on base. And then 4 to 5 innings today. Five walks matches a season high for Miguel Gonzalez. They'll be at first and second for Logan Forsythe.
I think John Peterson is on the on-deck circle thinking, am I going to come up my 3rd time with the bases loaded?
While they chat on the mound, remind you that after the Dodger game Saturday, July 22nd, you can catch a Dodger Vision showing of 42, a true story of an American legend, courtesy of Fandango. Go to Dodgers.com/movies. That'll be up on the big boards at Dodger Stadium. A way to spend the night. Go to a game and then get to hang out, watch a movie at Dodger Stadium after. Like Bellinger, Forsythe yet to be retired. Two on, 1 on the 5th. The first one. Ball 1. Nice stop by Smith. Forsythe takes ball 2. '89 pitches deep now in action down in that White Sox bullpen. David Holmberg. Generous strike call, snapping a string of 6 consecutive balls, and it's 2-1. Should find the zone. Seager at second, Bellinger at first, and a 2-1 to Forsythe. Behind it, 2-2. Two-seam has been far and away his most impressive pitch tonight.
He's had some really good movement on that two-seamer, and it just, look at the tailing action on this one. Wow. Not only did it just tail, it has slight sink to it.
Throw to second, and Seager's in there safely.
I saw the Miami series. Seager got picked off with the bases loaded. 2 outs. They executed it perfectly. Coming from the catcher, put the glove down, and the pitcher just spun around and got him. Called him out. Corey Seager, when he dove back, and he comes up and he wipes his pants, wipes his hand on his pant, his right leg. As soon as Gonzalez saw it, that's when he stepped off, probably thinking that he's giving him a sign or something like that. Called him out, tried to change pitches, which Corey was just probably wiping off the dirt off his pant.
The baseball guys are paranoid, no mind.
Just telling you what happened.
Bounced to short. There's one and two. Dodgers again have an opportunity to slip through their fingertips. Third double play. Miguel Gonzalez is induced in his 5 innings tonight. To reach the halfway point, but the Dodgers have a 1-0 lead on the White Sox, and we welcome inside Joe Davis, Nomar Garciaparra, and still kind of waiting for something to happen in this one. Both teams continue to threaten, but either side able to break through so far.
No, and if you're the Dodgers, you're frustrated because you're having plenty of guys on base. You're 1 for 6 right now with runners in scoring position, missing on those opportunities, and then Kershaw right now, and if you're the White Sox, you've actually got the pitch count up for Clayton Kershaw. They haven't been able to capitalize as well. They were 0 for 5 with runners in scoring position. So this might be one where it might be a battle of the bullpens because Clayton Kershaw's getting up there in pitch count, and so is Gonzalez.
9-1-2 for the White Sox. Ball 1 on Adam Engel.
So the Dodgers would be frustrated because they're not putting any across the board, but with those opportunities and recognizing the pitch count that Kershaw has. There are times when you're playing behind him, you recognize when your ace isn't as sharp. And Kershaw would say he's not as sharp as we've seen in the past. So you go, all right, this is the time we really need to put some runs up and not make him feel like he has to be perfect.
That is a foul ball, just barely. And strike 2. Kershaw on the season averages right around 15 pitches per inning. I mean, you're still looking at an opportunity if he stays on that average to go 7.
Right, to go 7, and Kershaw is not satisfied with 7.
No doubt.
You know? So
here's a 1-2. Struck him out looking. 92 on the outside corner for Kershaw's 5th punch out of the game. Third time through the order now for Chicago. Here's Tim Anderson. 1 for 2 today. Single to start the game and then grounded out. It's the guy they've kind of tapped as the cornerstone of this whole rebuilding project. Signed him to a big contract this offseason. Only 24 years old. And signed a 6-year, $25 million deal that has options through the 2024 season. It's a long time from now. And they have control of this guy through then. The largest deal in Major League history for a player with less than a full year in the majors. Gently hit. Turner charges. Knows the speed that Anderson has, so gets rid of it quickly for the second out. Kershaw with a chance for his first 1-2-3 inning of the night as the two-hitter Melky Cabrera comes up. Strike one. As they unload this thing, it's kind of surprising that Cabrera's not been dealt yet. Pretty good chance that he will be by July 31st or even after the non-waiver deadline. So the final year of his deal, why not try to get a prospect in return? 0-2.
You have a guy that career average is right around 300.
One and two.
A guy who can hit from both, switch hitter. So yeah, you would think there'd be teams interested in picking up the phone and asking.
Jam shot down the line. It's foul. It saves a 1-2. There's 32 years old now. His 13th year in the majors with his 6th different team. There's a good chance he'll be on his 7th team in 13 years within a few weeks. Former Yankee, Brave, Royal, Giant, Blue Jay. Came to the White Sox in 2015. A pretty lucrative contract. Kershaw's best inning of the night. 1-2-3 go the White Sox as he puts bookend strikeouts on a scoreless 5th.
Nothing lead here in the top of the 6th inning. Time now for our Land Rover Performance Spotlight, and it's another award for JT. He was named the Dodgers recipient of the 2017 Heart and Hustle Award. This award recognizes one player on each big league team who demonstrates a passion for the game, guys, and embodies the values, spirits, and tradition of the game. Of the 30 winners, one will be chosen and announced on November 14th in New York City.
All right, Alana. Jock Peterson pokes the first pitch of the 6th foul. Can't imagine there's a better choice than him out of the 30. Cheering on Peterson, who leads off this 6th in front of Grandal and Puig. Miguel Gonzalez nearing the end of his night. Drops that one in there for a strike, and it's 0-2. He has rode that 2-seam to whatever success that he's had.
I say, up at 94 pitches and still has movement on that pitch. You might think, well, with fatigue, that it would maybe start flattening out. There are times when pitchers would say, actually being a little tired, I get more movement on the pitch.
You don't overthrow it.
Right.
He's gotten beat Peterson both times tonight. Grounded into a double play and struck out. And he's got him again with that same pitch. Peterson expressing his displeasure with Will Little.
There's been frustration on both sides. Some of these pitches, as we look at the pitch cast. Pitch cast says it catches the corner there, but we've also talked about how that pitch has moved quite a bit.
Ball one on Grandal.
But we've seen frustration to the home plate umpire. We've seen it to first base umpire, whether it's a balk. Even Melky Cabrera on the check swing, when he struck out that last inning, he was frustrated. So.
One and one.
And I'm not saying that the umpires have missed them by any means. It's just you can just see the frustration on these players, where some of these, and we see it on the pitch cast, where they are pretty close. Some of them showing that they're catching the corner.
'99th pitch of the game for Gonzalez. Swing and a miss, 1-2. Grandal reaches out, taps it gently back to him. 2 up and 2 down in the 6th. And it appears so far that month-long DL stint is exactly what Miguel Gonzalez needed.
I'll tell you, he seems to have gotten better over the course of this game. You know, obviously the Dodgers a couple of times had the bases loaded in the 1st and the 3rd inning. But in the 1st inning, it really looked like he had trouble just with the command finding the strike zone. And that was an inning that it looked like the Dodgers got him off the hook, especially when he got that double play with the bases loaded. But after that, it seems that he was settling down and the command started to come back, especially with that 2-seam.
Puig bounces the first pitch to short. Miguel Gonzalez, against one of the top offenses in baseball, holds him to a run through 6 innings in his comeback from the DL. on Sportsnet LA is brought to you by Nissan. Choose Nissan today for great offers on our most exciting lineup ever. Shop ChooseNissan.com. And by Carl's Jr. Jalapeno double cheeseburger, only $2.49 at Carl's Jr. Back here in Chicago, where the Dodgers have the game's only run in the first inning and a Cody Bellinger RBI single. Thank goodness for this man tonight. He's needed to be as good as he's been, because Miguel Gonzalez is much better than he's been most of the season, holding the Dodgers to just that one run. And despite not having his very best stuff, he shut the White Sox out through 5. Part of the order coming up here: Abreu, Garcia, Davidson. Former Cuban star swings and misses at a curve for strike 1. Became a Cuban legend. The Cuban National Series, the 2011 season, he hit .448 and homered 37 times in 77 games. Now this 0-1. It's another curve. It's outside, ball 1. Started playing baseball when he was 7. He's always been one of the biggest kids, always been one of the hardest working players. Fouls it off, 1-2. Every day before practice in Cuba, he would hit 150 balls off a tee before he even began practice.
It's not always what you do with practice, the organized practice, is what you do away from it. When no one else is looking, that makes the difference.
Kershaw buzzes one over the inside at 93 to retire him for the first out of the 6. And time now for our Coors Banquet timeless moment. On this date back in 1939, the Dodgers got the Hall of Famer Pee Wee Reese from the Boston Red Sox. The Red Sox had him pretty much by chance, because they had purchased the minor league team that Pee Wee Reese happened to be playing for. And shipped him off to the Dodgers. He went on to a 16-year career, 16-year Hall of Fame career. It's ball 1 on Garcia. When Pee Wee Reese was a senior in high school, he was 120 pounds. He rode the bench. So we're not talking like a minor prospect. We're talking he could hardly even play on his high school team. 1-1. Wasn't big enough, wasn't strong enough. When he graduated high school, he worked as a cable splicer for the local telephone company and spent all day climbing up and down poles and packed on a lot of muscle doing that. Grew a little bit at the same time. 1-2. At the same time, he was playing baseball for his church's team. They won the city championship in Louisville. Caught the attention of the American Association team in town, and they said, hey, we got a pro contract for you. Signed it at 20 years old, and then a year later, the Red Sox bought that team. Garcia fouls it back, and it's still 1-2. He was blocked at short, though, in Boston by a Hall of Famer and Joe Cronin, who was the player manager. And in order to protect his own job, because he was fading at that point, Cronin wrote up this horrible scouting report on Pee Wee Reese. So they pretty much just gave him away to the Dodgers. The 1-2. Blowing away, ball 2.
Did the Dodgers ever send him a thank you note?
I think they probably still owed one. Full count. Garcia's reached both times. The lone Kershaw walk. One of the 4 singles against Clayton. Came inside with a fastball to get Abreu. See what he does with Garcia on 3-2. With the slimmest of margins, one of the best hitters in the American League this year at the plate. The payoff. Avisail Garcia. It's a hard ground ball to the hole at short. Seager across his body, throws it away. Garcia's on his way to second, and the tying run is in scoring position. Single and then an error, allowing him to move to second.
Seager did a good job getting that ball, stabbing at it, but it's not an easy play with your momentum going the other way to make a throw. This one where, you know, Cody Bellinger, I mean, it took a weird hop, but even with that weird hop, Cody Bellinger wasn't necessarily in a position. He's got to do a little bit better job of recognizing that that ball is just going to be off and that it was a tough play, and give him the single or give him that base to make sure he doesn't get in the scoring position. Try to find a way to knock that ball down.
Especially in this situation. And a one-run game. Shaw makes the move and gets Garcia back to the bag, but nobody there to take a throw. And Davidson 0 for 2. Strike one and a slider. After a pretty good start this year, Davidson struggling lately, and the entire team struggling tonight with runners in scoring position. That's a base hit to center, but Garcia started back towards second, making sure that that ball got through, and so he stops at third. They're at the corners with one out.
Davidson did a good job staying back on that breaking ball. Wasn't out in front. It seemed like he saw it really well out of Kershaw's hand. Was over the middle of the plate, so that definitely helped. He put a nice swing on it to take it, put that line drive, and Garcia had to freeze.
So Tyler Saladino comes up for the first at bat of the night for the White Sox with a runner at third. Kershaw and the Dodgers trying to match a season-high 10-game winning streak. Trying to become the first team to win 30 out of 34 since 1977. Any team, not just in Dodger history, any team in baseball. The first one, Saladino bunts it in the air. Grandal's got it for the second out. The mere presence of number 22 on the mound forces the hand of the White Sox here, and it bites them.
Well, this wasn't a squeeze. It was almost like a safety squeeze here where he'd have to read to make sure it gets on the ground. He was hoping he can put it in the right spot. You can see Garcia down the third baseline, kind of reading that, and once it popped up, he just went straight back to the back. Nothing he can do. Did the Dodgers a favor there by popping that one up. I'll see Kershaw can get out of this inning.
Yolmer Sanchez with 2 outs and runners at the corners. Kershaw 90 pitches deep. Gets strike one with a fastball. Sanchez has a hit tonight. He's also struck out. 0-1. Bounce to third. Turner's got it. And Kershaw's out of the inning. 6 shutout innings for Clayton Kershaw. On to the 7th in Chicago. Calendar brought to you by 76. Back home for the Braves on Thursday. And then the Twins come in. And then the Giants. Nice 10-game homestand for the Dodgers. Opening up on Thursday night after they finish this road trip tomorrow. 5 o'clock Los Angeles time. Kenta Maeda starts for the Dodgers. Who's in, who's out? Brought to you by In and Out. The night is finished for Miguel Gonzalez. And David Holmberg comes on for his 23rd appearance.
David Holmberg has a 1.56 ERA and 164 opponent's average in 16 appearances so far.
Chase Utley, 9-1-2 for the Dodgers. Ball 1. So Miguel Gonzalez gave the White Sox all they could have dreamed of tonight. Just the 1 run in the first inning. Despite the Dodgers getting 5 hits and 5 walks. Rolled to the right side. And Utley is the first out as Saladino throws him out. Holmberg has taken a winding path to reach the White Sox Major League roster. He was drafted by Chicago in the 2nd round, but then was traded to Arizona, traded from Arizona to Cincinnati, signed a minor league contract with the Braves after he was released, and then a minor league contract with the White Sox. All these years later, finally makes his Major League debut with them. Well, not his Major League debut, but his White Sox debut. No balls and a strike on Chris Taylor. That's inside the bag down the line. And with Taylor's speed, he's got a double. 3-hit night for Chris Taylor. The Dodgers a man in scoring position with 1 out here in the 7th.
You were talking about it, Joe, earlier about his batting practice, where he was frustrated, visibly frustrated with his batting practice today. Talked about sometimes you have those days and you go out there going, all right, once the game starts, I'm going to get locked in and really focused because I know I'm not feeling maybe as good as I'd like to, or I couldn't feel it at batting practice where I'd want to going into the game. Ended up putting a swing on it, good swing on it, finding a hole, nice double.
Well, the runner at 2nd and 1 out. Here's Corey Seager. Fly to left. one's taken off, but caught by Cabrera.
Good swing by Corey, just unlucky. Just bad aim right there. He struck it well, drove the ball, but it didn't get in the gap enough. For a second there, he thought he had enough of it to get over his head. That's why he was looking.
Some rare show of emotion from Corey Seager.
Dodgers are feeling that they've squandered some opportunities here so far in this game.
Another change. They go back into the bullpen, bring a right-hander on for Justin Turner.
Wednesday, July 26th, when the Dodgers play host to the Twins at 7:10. The first 40,000 fans in attendance will receive a Clayton Kershaw bobblehead, courtesy of Pirelli Tire. For tickets, visit Dodgers.com/promotions. And yes, that is a bat in Clayton Kershaw's hand in that bobblehead.
That's sweet. I like it. I'm going to get one. He is pitching the Dodgers to a 1-0 lead in this. Anthony Swarzak comes on, having a really nice year here in his age 32 season, ready to face off with Justin Turner with Chris Taylor at second and 2 out. Former Twin, former Indian, former Yankee. In his first season with Chicago, they hope that they can flip him now. With the deadline approaching, they get a prospect out of him. Ball one on Turner. That's a rare multi-strikeout game tonight. A double sandwiched in between those two Ks. Swarzak's 1-0. Just outside, ball 2. Neither team good in these spots tonight. Three and 0. Swarzak's journey the last few years has included a stop in Korea. 3 straight seasons fighting to make rosters on 1-year minor league contracts. Turner will have the green light. He's done damage on this count before. Line to third and caught by Davidson to end the inning. Dodgers strand another. We stretch in Chicago in a 1-0 game. Our Morongo Casino slow-mo cam takes a look at Clayton Kershaw, who's held the White Sox off of the board through 6 innings tonight. He has 7 Ks. He's walked 1 and been able to pitch around 6 hits. All of them singles. And as he so often does when he gets backed into a corner, has found his way out tonight.
Well, and he also finds a way too where he may not feel as sharp and still finds a way to go out there, battle, and be effective, because he knows he just competes and he knows what's working for him at the time. He's able to go out there and utilize those pitches or find a way to keep attacking that way. And like you said, buckle down. And just look at that graphic there. And look at games with 7 innings pitched this season. Kershaw has 14, while the White Sox combined have 8.
Trying to make it 15. He's 92 pitches deep as he begins the inning with a strike on Kevin Smith. 8-9-1 for the White Sox here. The win would be a 10th in a row. Curve for strike 2. If this score held, it would be a 10-game winning streak where the Dodgers have allowed a total of 21 runs. 21 runs over 10 games. Still plenty of work to do, though. And 0-2. Ball 1. Nubbed off the end of the bat on a curveball that had him out in front. And Smith is the first out of the 7th.
Just looking at Kershaw, that 0-2 pitch right before, he was trying to get that corner. You know, he was trying to put him away. And, you know, now pitchers will always say 0-2, it's so taboo if you give up a hit on an 0-2 count. But I'm thinking in today's game with pitch counts, it doesn't matter, because you don't want to just waste it. And you look at this 0-2 going off the plate and you see him frustrated because he wanted that so bad. But I don't know if that holds water anymore, even in the minors, because if you're going to hold the pitcher to a pitch count and he gets 0-2 on guys, then don't count that pitch against his pitch count.
Engel rips one foul, strike 1.
If you want them to waste it, right? And Kershaw's not going to waste any pitches because he's that good. But I'm just saying in general now.
Scott Engel looking both times tonight. Another number back to him. Had a hard time getting it out of his glove, but did in the nick of time for out number 2. And it draws a smile.
He was stumbling too. Looked like he lost his footing a little bit. And still, there it is. Get it there. Oh. Still throw this. Even falling, he threw a strike over there.
And Engel runs well. 2 up and 2 down. 1-0 game in the 7th. Back to the top, Tim Anderson. Strike 1 with a fastball. Just a few months ago, Clayton Kershaw was pitching in a 1-0 game in this city. And LCS game 2 is 1-0 win over the Cubs. That's a base hit to left, and the White Sox have the tying run aboard here in the 7th. It's only been 1 inning tonight where the White Sox have failed to get a base runner against Kershaw. Veteran Melky Cabrera with a man at first and 2 out. 11 home runs for him this year, including one over the weekend against Seattle to open the second half. Anderson has good wheels at first, so Kershaw will pay plenty of attention to him, with him representing the tying run. Strike one. Might have gotten a piece of Grandal.
Yeah. See Melky checking on him, which is really nice of him, and even the umpire's calling timeout a little bit. He actually went to go clean the plate. Now he just went to go ask for some baseballs from the ball boy, but oh, yep.
Safely.
I'm chuckling because Kershaw is hopping off the mound, hoping he got him. It was close. There's the hop. I tell you, it wasn't that much of a difference from his one before.
They're going to challenge this number. John Pratt, the Dodger video man, thinks that he sees something worth checking here. Relays that to the bench coach Bob Guerin, who relays it to Dave Roberts, who relays it to the crew chief Jeff Kellogg. I think he's out.
If right there, if his glove is on right there, on him, yes. I don't know, did the fingernail get on there?
Hard thing is, call on the field is safe, so you've got to have indisputable evidence that it is out in order to overturn it, or the call will just simply stand.
They're showing the replay here in Chicago, and you know that it's pretty close when the fans don't react.
Yeah.
Like, you know, like, oh, are you safe, or come on, let's go. They're like, oh, that's pretty close, so
Kind of
let's
an
be quiet.
uneasy feeling.
And then the other thing was the angle they showed on here. You see both Ballinger and Kershaw jump, like, oh, we got him.
He's out. Kershaw picks him off to finish off the seventh. 7 more shutout innings from Clayton Kershaw. Kershaw, 7 shutout innings. Some handshakes coming back into the dugout. Quick chat with Rick Honeycutt. And he's going to go to the phone, make the call down to the bullpen that it's up to them to finish this thing off. But on a night where Clayton Kershaw did not have his finest stuff, he's still able to battle his way through 7 innings with no damage.
He really is amazing because we put him such a high standard when we say he doesn't have his best stuff, and you still look at the numbers. Obviously doesn't allow a run, but still, I mean, tremendous. That's what aces do and great pitchers do. They're not going to have their best stuff on a daily basis, but they're going to find a way to still be dominant, and that was Clayton Kershaw.
Middle of the Dodger order against Anthony Swarzak here in the 8th inning. Cody Bellinger takes a strike. Reached all 3 times tonight, a single and 2 walks, and knocked in the lone run of the game in the 1st inning. Dodgers have had at least 1 base runner in 6 of the 7 innings in this game. 5 walks, a hit batsman, 6 hits, but only 1 run. One and 2. Dodgers trying to make it 14 consecutive Kershaw starts that they wind up winners in. Haven't lost one of his starts since May 1st. Bellinger reaches out, bounces one by the bag, foul.
Just misses from extra bases right there by Bellinger. He was like, oh, with his speed, the way that ball was hit, and the way they play him to pull, that might have been more than just a double.
Pedro Baez was warming last inning. There's no action down there right now. Which means Baez is ready, or poorly reading body language in the Dodger dugout. Kershaw's done. Bellinger stays alive. Another 1-2. Fouled off of the glove of Smith. Bellinger still alive, leading off this 8th inning in front of Forsythe and Peterson. More home runs than anybody in baseball since he debuted in late April. Another 1-2. That's inside, and the count evens up. Now the 2-2. High fly ball into short center. That's sinking, and it's down for a base hit. Little dunk shot into shallow center for Bellinger. The leadoff man on here in the 8th.
As a hitter, this is a beautiful thing. You don't square it up. You took a full swing, you mishit it, and you're thinking, oh, great, and then it's still able to fall in for a nice single.
Feels like justice after he just barely missed the double down the line.
I used to always joke, oh, that makes up for that line drive out I had back in college.
Right. But all evens out.
It was my senior year, so they say it evened out. I always act like I was keeping count. Runner at first, nobody out. Logan Forsythe.
So was the ledger even when you finished?
What's that?
Was the ledger even when you?
No, I said my senior year. I didn't go there my senior, but like my junior, my last year in college, where I would go. Oh, that was for single A when I lined out to the shortstop. And second game in single A, like people would look at me at first, like just be quiet.
Swarzak to Forsythe with an 0-1 pitch. It's ball one. You can break down the Dodger greatness this year by a lot of different dates, but when you go back to when Cody Bellinger debuted, 55-18. 12 games better than anybody since that day. 1-2 on Forsythe. 14 games better than anybody in the division. They were 9-11 at that point. Two and two. Bouncing ball right side. That's through for a base hit. Bellinger's on his way to third. Garcia's throw is cut off. Forsythe's back to the bag safely, and they're at the corners with nobody out.
That was a good read by Cody Bellinger. One, obviously you're running hard on this because you're thinking, okay, if the Yankees get it, possible double play here or play you at second, but then reading the ball, getting by him, and he did not hesitate and took a good route and angle to get to third.
Rio to make another change with the left-handed batting Jock Peterson coming out. Like a broken record, but the Dodgers with another chance, trying to come through to extend this lead. Dodgers baseball on Sportsnet LA is brought to you by BMW. See a Southern California BMW Center today for exceptional offers, or visit SoCalBMW.com. And by Jack in the Box. Come try the new sweeter spicy barbecue bacon cheeseburger and chicken sandwich. Limited time only. Back in Chicago, where the Dodgers have a 1-0 lead on the White Sox. And a good opportunity to extend the lead. Runners at the corners, nobody out. Dan Jennings, the new pitcher. Left-hander brought on to face Jock Peterson, and so Dave Roberts counters by sending Kike Hernandez up.
And this is his 45th appearance. His 44 were tied for second in the American League as far as relief appearances. The lefties are hitting 190 against him as compared to right-handers hitting 268. And that's why he sends up Kike Hernandez. And they just intentionally walked him. Even with the base open wasn't first. The base open was second. Load the bases to flip Grandal around. He's definitely stronger batting left-handed than he is right-handed.
Third time tonight the Dodgers have had the bases loaded. So Grandal with a chance to crack this thing open. Bases loaded, nobody out. Jennings' first pitch is fouled off with the home plate umpire Will Little. A lot to look at in the delivery from Jennings.
And he's just a two-pitch pitcher. Jennings is average about 91 miles an hour fastball, and he comes at you with a slider. And if you're wondering whether, what are splits like between the two, did you throw one more than the other? They're pretty much even, and they're pretty much even whether it's a lefty or right-handed.
He's had some really good years. Tremendous numbers last year for the White Sox. Not as good this year. And a heck of a jam here in the 8th. Ahead of Grandal 0-2. Born in Berkeley, California. Grew up in Iowa and then played his college ball in Nebraska for the Cornhuskers. Here's his 0-2. Strikes Grandal out swinging. And 3 pitches, finishes him off with a pitch in the dirt, 1 away.
He comes slow, set, and then he has a speeds up with his windup, and then he's got a tight, late breaking slider.
So it's Puig. Seattle 0 for 3 tonight. Ball 1. Pedro Baez getting ready again, understanding that the White Sox are now conceivably a pitch away from getting out of this. Between Rick Renteria putting Kike Hernandez on and Dan Jennings striking out Yasmani Grandal. He fires 1-0. Puig takes strike 1. Dave Roberts has put Austin Barnes into the on-deck circle. Well, running this game way back in the first inning. Loaded up in the 8th. On the way. Puig gets a bouncing ball at second. Saladino, a double play. The beat goes on in this one. Thankfully, the Dodgers have Clayton Kershaw and lead 1-0.
Kershaw pitches around 7 hits. Bottom line, no damage from him. The Dodgers, though, offensively can't seem to get that big hit right now, though, with a 1-0 lead. Clayton Kershaw would pick up his 15th win of the season. The Dodgers would pick up their 10th straight. We'll break it down. Access Sportsnet Dodgers, brought to you by your Southern California Nissan dealers after the game.
All right, Alana, it'll be up to the bullpen in this one as Pedro Baez comes on. 1 for 10 with runners in scoring position tonight. They have stranded 10. 8 of those 10 left in scoring position. Thankfully for the Dodgers, the White Sox have had similar problems.
Yeah, for the Dodgers, that one was just one better than the White Sox, because that one ended up leading to the run. The White Sox had one and they couldn't get him around because they was such a line drive. The guy had to freeze at second base. This game would be tied, but both sides, opportunities lost. This game's not over. You got to go out there now. You got to go up to Pedro Baez to go out there and pitch a solid inning.
Not going to be easy.
Nope. Not the guys coming up with Cabrera, Abreu, and Garcia that he's going to have to face.
3 best hitters they have. First time Cabrera's batted left-handed tonight. Switch hitter takes ball 1. Baez has allowed a run in back-to-back outings. It's the first time this year that that's been the case. Final appearance of the first half against Kansas City, and then his first appearance of the second half. Gave up a run on 3 hits against Miami. A 1-0. That's outside ball 2. You surely do not want to face Jose Abreu with a man on. Ball 3. Kike Hernandez after pinch hitting for Jock Peterson remains in center field.
Part of the lineup usually has, if they want to swing 3-0, they can.
Strike 1.
Melky Cabrera, if you're wondering about his splits, you know, he came into this game at a 289 average. He's hitting 283 from the right side and 291 from the left side. So they're about even.
Yeah,
pretty close to even. Yep.
Melky Cabrera leading off the 8th. And Baez has battled back to make it 4. Hard throwing righty from the Dominican, former third baseman. And one of Dave Roberts' favorite high leverage guys. And there is no higher leverage situation before the 9th inning than one like this, with this part of the order in a 1-run game. 3-2. Rip to right. Puig starts on, lays out and makes the catch. Gold Glove caliber night in and night out.
As we take a look at our Arco top tier play, Yasiel, when this ball was first hit, it didn't look like he got a good read on it, like he didn't see it right off the bat, but the great athleticism and great play makes up for it, lays out, makes a tremendous catch.
At any stage of the game, let alone, or if he doesn't make the play, the White Sox would have the tying run in scoring position. So 1 out, and up comes Jose Abreu with the bases importantly empty. Strike 1. Starts him backwards.
We have a look at that catch. I mean, his eyes just never got off the ball. Goes out there, he'll sacrifice the body. We've seen that so many times throughout Yasiel's career, whether it's going into a fence, laying out, whether it's on the grass or even if it's in the warning track it doesn't matter. He's eyes on the ball, trying to make every catch.
A pop up. Does Bellinger have room? A sigh of relief as Abreu fouls out, 2 away. Not out of the woods yet. Abisail Garcia, who's reached all 3 times. The lone White Sox All-Star, 13 home runs this year, comes up. Up with a fastball. Strike 1. Ball 1. Run on 8 hits for the Dodgers. The lone run on a Cody Bellinger RBI single in the first inning. No runs on 7 hits for the White Sox. Kershaw on 7. The 8th belongs to Baez. It'll be Jansen in the 9th. Baez trying to work a perfect 8th. 1 and 2. He's thrown 3 straight fastballs at the letters to get ahead of Garcia. Trying to go right through the heart of the order. 2 and 2. Here it comes. On the ground to Corey Seager at short. Pedro Baez with a 1-2-3-8. And a 1-0 lead as we march on to the 9th. Probables are brought to you by Mercedes-Benz. Kenta Maeda for the Dodgers and Carlos Rodon, former top prospect of the White Sox, has spent most of the year on the disabled list, but he'll make his 4th start. 1 good one, 2 bad ones so far for him. Same place, same time. 5:10 Los Angeles time, first pitch, and then the Dodgers return home to start a 10-game homestand Thursday night with Atlanta. Austin Barnes leads off this 9th inning against Dan Jennings, who misses with a fastball. You are not supposed to win games like this. You go 1 for 10 with runners in scoring position. You leave 10. With a 1-0 lead, 7 from Kershaw and 1 from Baez. Trying to match a season-high 10-game winning streak. It's already the first team for the Dodgers to have 2 9-game winning streaks since the World Championship season in 1955. And Jansen getting ready for the 9th. Zips in there for strike 2. Dodgers right now tied for the best 33-game stretch in franchise history with the 1899 club. No Dodger team has ever gone 30-4. 2-2 on Barnes. No team in baseball has gone 30-4 in 40 years. 3 outs away from accomplishing that. July 24th, Dodgers and Twins face off in a 3-game series. Be one of the first 40,000 fans to take home a replica Justin Turner jersey. Compliments of United Healthcare. Go to Dodgers.com/promotions. Did you see that Bartolo Colon is now a Twin and is likely going to face off with the Dodgers next Monday?
So when you first say now a Twin, I mean you're on the Twins.
Yes. Yeah, we have found that Bartolo Colon has a twin out there, and it is amazing. Another change back in a moment. Cody Bellinger's RBI single in the first inning, the only scoring in this game. Gregory Infante comes on with the bases empty and 1 out. The top of the Dodger order coming up, searching for insurance. Been searching all night, been knocking on the door all night, but just haven't been able to kick it open.
No, they definitely had some huge opportunities, but they've got to either strike out, double plays. The double play ball has really hurt the Dodgers so far this game.
4 of them in 8 innings. Three-hit night for Chris Taylor. That His first career 4-hit game a couple of weeks ago. Finished it with a walk-off hit. Infante starts him with a curve for a strike. Dodgers have won 1-0 win this year. Alex Wood beat the Diamondbacks July 5th 1-0. And not a ton of history between these two franchises. Obviously the most noteworthy thing, the 1959 World Series. But they have played a 1-0 game against one another. And that was in the 1959 World Series. In fact, Sandy Koufax's first postseason game was Game 5 of the '59 World Series. He lost 1-0. Taylor has a 4-hit night. On a night where he had a frustrating batting practice, couldn't seem to figure things out. Got his second career 4-hit game, because of course he does.
That's a beautiful thing. I mean, that's when you never understand baseball. Because as a player, you're like, really? I felt awful. And you get 4 hits. And then there's days where you're like, man, I feel great. My batting practice was unreal. I can't wait. And you strike out 4 times.
And now Seager. And another way to look at that is when you go back to like Friday night in Miami, Logan Forsythe hit the ball really hard 4 times and went 0 for 4. Chris Taylor's not hit the ball particularly hard tonight and finds himself 4 for 5. Weird game, baseball. Strike 1 on Seager. First with 1 out, and Infante to Seager with a 1-1 pitch. Other than avoiding a double play for the sake of avoiding a double play, it is important that Seager does not ground into 1 here, because if Justin Turner comes up, it'll be his 5th plate appearance of the night, and he will finally qualify for the league leaderboard, which means he will officially be baseball's leading hitter at above 370. A 2-1 from Infante after a toss over.
You think Justin Turner's thinking about that on the end?
0 chance.
Exactly.
I actually think I just heard him shout to Corey, "Come on, Corey, don't ground into a double play. I need a 5th plate appearance so I qualify for the league leaderboard." Did you hear it too?
A little bit.
Okay.
Yeah, but that might have been a fan.
Okay. 3-1.
Might have been you.
Yeah, it's most likely to 3-1. It's 2-1 on Seager.
Corey, I follow your way, buddy.
I hear something from a fan. Infante deals 2-1, and Seager rips one to center. That is caught by Engel. 2 outs. And with Taylor at first, up comes Turner to move himself into the league leaderboard. He's 3 weeks on the disabled list with a hamstring injury. Had him playing catch up. But when the night ends, he'll see his name atop baseball. The average right now at 372 with a 1-for-4 performance thus far.
Chris Taylor can't get picked off.
You're right. You're right. Hope I didn't speak too soon. But he already shouted down and told him that too. So he knows. Strike 1.
Actually, I'll tell you what, if you're Chris Taylor, you are telling yourself that, because you have a guy who can hit a home run, who is swinging the bat well. In this particular moment, unless you know it's easy to steal, you're not going anywhere. You're going to say, okay, I'll stay here. I'm going to get a good secondary, because even a ball in the gap I can possibly score. That's what you're thinking.
Turner's 6 home runs in his last 13 games. Boy, would one be nice here. Fouled off, 0-2. Now finds himself on the brink of his first 3 strikeout game of the year. It's one of the more impressive things when you really peel the layers away on the season he's having is the way that he's cut down on strikeouts. One of very few players in baseball with more walks than Ks. Five, 6, and 7 due up for the White Sox in the bottom of the 9th inning against Kenley Jansen. 1-0 here in Chicago. Infante to Turner with an 0-2. Fouls it off. Best 2-strike hitter in baseball. I said that part of that is just kind of a newfound approach. A lot of guys, when they foul tip one with 2 strikes, really get upset with themselves. And he said he's trying to remain steady. After all, that's the goal. Stay alive, get another chance, which he did there. And an 0-2. Ball one. A 1-2 to Turner. High fly ball to right. Garcia's back on it. Track makes the catch. Fasten those seatbelts onto the bottom of the 9th inning. Here comes Kenley Jansen. .23 for 23 on the season. Sparkling numbers up and down the ledger of Kenley Jansen, who's an all-star for the 2nd year in a row. And will face off with 5, 6, and 7 in the White Sox order, nursing a 1-run lead here in the 9th.
There's only a few people on this lineup that have actually faced Kenley Jansen before. It's Jose Abreu, Melky Cabrera, and Matt Davidson. Way up at the plate. Matt's only had 2 at-bats, and 0 for 2 against Kenley.
So here we go. Jansen to Davidson to open the 9th with strike 1. We've seen that cutter take on different shapes throughout Kenley's time as a Dodger. from outing to outing even. Take off with some backup action to it in Miami. Turned it up to 97 at one point. Here it's working in the low 90s. It's 1 ball and 1 strike. Davidson 18 homers on the year. Best power threat in this lineup, leading off the 9th inning. A 1-1 and a high drive to left center field. Taylor's back at the track. No big deal for the first out of the 9th.
I like how you said no big deal because this was a big deal. This was loud. It got the fans to their feet. Chicago fans thought he got it. A lot of people thought he got it. It was carrying. Chris Taylor was going back thinking, will I have to rob one? And just in front of the wall. Kenley Jansen breathes a sigh of relief.
The ball usually flies really well here. A lot of times you see a ball hit like that in this park. This game is tied.
Not much wind, if any. I mean, the flags, there's a couple of flags that aren't even waving at all. Some other ones. So it's a beautiful night. See that? There's really no wind, and just for the Dodgers' sake, it didn't carry.
Living right, this team right now. Alan Hansen pinch hitting for Tyler Saladino. The bases empty and 1 gone in the 9th in a 1-run game. Strike 1. Dodgers saw Hansen earlier this year with the Pirates. Zone for strike 2. And in his first career at bat against Kenley Jansen, Alan Hansen finds himself in an 0-2 hole that is no fun at all. Fouled it off. Combined between these teams in this game, 1 run on 16 hits. All the way back in the first. Another 0-2 from Jansen to Hansen. Off of the hands at second, it's Forsythe. 2 up. Said it last inning, but you don't expect to win games where you go 1 for 10 with runners in scoring position and strand 10.
Especially when that 1 run you get, that one is in the first inning. That's it.
Homer Sanchez, last hope for Chicago. Bouncing ball, base hit to right. And Omar Narvaez is going to pinch hit here. With his first home run of the season over the weekend. Part of a catching platoon for the White Sox. Likely will start tomorrow with the right-hander Maeda pitching. Rick Renteria trying to catch lightning in a bottle here with Narvaez. Tying run at first, winning run at the plate. 2 gone in the 9th. Jansen's ready. Wanted it higher than that. Got away with it. Strike one. Grandal asked for that ball up above the letters, and it wound up center cut. Jansen finally feeling back to 100% after battling that stomach bug last week. Fought through it to pitch an inning at the All-Star game to get a couple of saves against the Marlins. Listed up more yesterday during the off day, and now here he is trying to shut it down in the opener against the White Sox. To get Clayton Kershaw his 15th win to lead baseball. Here comes the 0-1. It's outside for a ball. One and two. The White Sox down to their final strike. Dodgers playing Narvaez very deep. No doubles defense. With Forsythe in short right field. A strike away from 10 in a row. Runner takes off on a foul ball. To the slider to finish off a 10th consecutive win. And a 30th out of the last 34 games. It's the best 34-game stretch in baseball since 1977 and the best in Dodger franchise history.
And for Clayton Kershaw, that's been his 14th consecutive start where the Dodgers have won. They're 14-0 in those starts. Clayton Kershaw is 11-0 in those starts. And once again, the Dodgers finding a way, all up and down, throughout the lineup, through the pitching staff, finding a way to win a game.
On a night where they had plenty of reasons not to, they had the #1 reason to win the game. Clayton Kershaw, the Lexus player of the game. 7 shutout innings. Then it was on to Baez for the 8th. Jansen for the 9th, despite Matt Davidson putting a scare into the Dodgers and their fans that turned out in a lot of blue here in the south side of Chicago tonight. Able to pitch out of it in a 1-0 final. The Dodgers have won 10 in a row and have a chance at a perfect road trip with a series finale tomorrow. 5 o'clock Los Angeles time. For Nomar, Milana, and the rest of our crew, Joe Davis saying so long. Access Sportsnet brought to you by your Southern California Nissan dealers begins right now.